It's crazy when they get sanctimonious with you.
Yes.
That Israeli thing. We're like, are you kidding me? Oh, does Israel not have a right to exist? I'll tell you what. You go pay for it yourself, and if you can pay for it, then you have a right.
Mike Malloy has a great analogy. Someone said, doesn't Israel have a right to defend itself? And Mike Malloy said, you live in Minnesota, right? So let's say I showed up at your house and I said, hey, this is mine now. You lived there for 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
I show up and I say, hey, this is mine now. Get out. And I do it at the point of a gun. And you leave. And you move down the street. And it bothers you. And it drives you crazy that these people stole your house and are now living in it. And so then you show up, and every once in a while you throw rocks at them and you break their window because it makes you feel a little bit better. And then in response to you throwing rocks at them, they take out a howitzer and a mortar, and they slaughter you and your family and your children.
And all your neighbors nearby, and they have a right to do that.
Yeah. Does that seem right? Because that's what's happening.
The definition of self-defense is being stretched real thin.
Yeah, self-defense.
In fact, it's being stretched in a way that no one in America could ever get away with calling self-defense a thing Israel's doing. There's no court that would ever tell, oh, you gave a fake exploding page that blew up people's faces off their kids, but that was just in self-defense. How is that self-defense, by the way? They're going to want to kill you more now. Almost like you want it that way all the time, so you can expand and expand and expand.
And if you want to hear my jokes about this, come see me this Saturday in Atlanta, Georgia. My one and only trip ever to Atlanta. I'm never going back. That'll be this Saturday. So if you ever want to see me, and I bring it hard, standing ovations every time we perform, we'll see you this Saturday in Atlanta. Then we'll be in Raleigh. I don't even know if there's tickets left in Raleigh because we're pretty popular in Raleigh. And then we'll be in Spokane, Tacoma, Levittown, Rosemont, Chicago. Also, June 19th, just added. Friday, June 19th, 7:30. We're doing a panel show. Lots of celebrities. Who will be the celebrity? Will it be William Shatner? Will it be who knows? Will it be Zach Galifianakis? Will it be Conan, the real barbarian? Will it be who knows? Maybe it'll be Louis C.K. will show up and masturbate for us. I think he would do that.
I'm on his side. I defend that every time. He asked for consent to not touch someone. So
I'm giving him consent.
I defend him openly and forever on that.
I'm giving him consent.
Know,
I'm giving him. I'm consenting.
I would be an honor for me as well.
It would be an honor.
And it would be an honor for me to go to Riyadh and apologize to Saudi Arabia for America being a bad friend. And I would like to still. I hope this goes out to someone. They'll book me on that fine festival.
I got invited to Riyadh. Had a guy a week ago said, hey, would you be willing to go to Riyadh and tell jokes? And I go, yeah, but I got to say whatever I want. If they let me say whatever I want, I'll go.
Tell that guy I will only say things that make them happy because I would like to apologize for America on foreign soil as soon as possible.
And then the guy said to me, he goes, oh, that's right. Okay, no, I guess that wouldn't work out.
Whatever that is, hit me up, dude, because they will love what I say to them.
Over to stuff.
I will love the same.
Raul wants to know, where did you get your shirt?
This is a Taylor Bird shirt. This I think is cotton, actually. This is Taylor Bird, right?
Raul, Taylor Bird.
I like the inner
Taylor Bird, Raul.
And this is wool. This T-shirt. I only wear wool T-shirts, and then cotton or linen shirty shirts. So I do that because when I quit smoking pot, I would have night sweats every night. And if you have a cotton shirt, it makes you freezing cold. But this, if you have a wool T-shirt, it still keeps you warm when it's wet, and then it dries immediately. So there you go. Over to Steph.
Okay, thank you. Does that answer your question, Raul? Sounds like Jim is saying only in your dreams, buddy.
Sounds like it.
So let's see here.
Okay, ready?
Oh, back to Jimmy.
Kurt, you're going to like this.
Yeah, why?
So this is John Podhoretz, who literally took the job that his dad had. They called the Keaton was calling him Lucky Boy.
John Podhoretz, yeah.
Yeah. So it's no longer, what do they call that when you, what's it called when you inherit?
Nepo, something?
Nepo's, yeah. So but we call him Lucky Boy. And
Not in terms of his name or appearance.
no. But he has blocked me on Twitter. He's one of those guys, all right? But at least he doesn't tweet about me like Dan Bongino. If you block someone, that's fine. You can block anybody. But you can't, if you block them and then tweet about them, that you're a garbage person. Okay.
It's self-defense. Doesn't he have a right to self-defense?
Does it have a right? So here he is. He's going to talk about the Thomas Massey election. And everything he says here, he's saying this in defense of Jews, but everything he says here qualifies as anti-Semitism according to the IHRA new rules.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Everything he says here. And that's coming up in just a second. Over to Steph for a second. I got to get something ready.
No problem. So, hold on. Where'd you go, sir? You just asked this. Doesn't Professor Jig study game theory? Yes, Professor Jig does study game theory.
Yeah.
It says he's a high school teacher known for his viral predictive history channel, where he uses game theory, history patterns, and eschatology as pillars to analyze and predict global geopolitics. He regularly uploads his lectures online. So that should answer that for you, Amito.
I mean, you just look at all the stories going on, and as long as you get the actual news and not the bullshit off of CNN, Fox, etc., you can make all kinds of amazing predictions. Hey, I think the war's not over in Iran. I don't call me psychic, but I feel like it's going to keep going.
Sounds psychic. Guy Foe, you say, why is the safety of Israel my problem?
Okay.
Look at you. Back to Jim J.
So here is this guy, John Podhoretz, thinking he's actually... So if you want to know what increases anti-Semitism and actual Jew hate, watch this. Because everything he says here, while being true, will also make people hate them and would be considered anti-Semitic if it wasn't a Jew saying it. So let's listen.
Guess we're fighting.
Grabbing the data now? Oh, not getting much. Most of it's encrypted. What little I can see, there should be a way to unscramble it nearby. See if you can locate a terminal to help unlock this data.
Found a body. Searching the area. Not dead, one here. Everyone watch out.
somewhere nearby.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Vehicle selected. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location. Please visit us again. Goodbye. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Vehicles, please visit us again. Goodbye. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
I think it is a good thing if Massey and the people like him and others believe that if you cross the line into anti-Semitism, Jews are going to use the power that we have openly to go for you.
And what is that power exactly? I wonder what that power is. Let's
Something
see.
with the banks and all the media.
The media, the bad. Let's see.
Asthma spray.
Because what other recourse is there? Are we just going to sit here and take it, beg for scraps, hope that nice people are nice to us? The Democratic Party is going explicitly anti.
Okay, of course. Why wouldn't people be nice and helpful with the ones that are demanding all their money and children? Isn't that how it's supposed to work? I rob you, and if you complain, I threaten you, and if you don't acquiesce to demands, I blow up the world. That's what. Come on. That's how reciprocity works. As long as it works for me. Okay, here we go.
Semitic, we can see it happening. People are getting benefits, as Seth says, for being anti-Semites. That seems to be part of an appeal in primaries to the left in the party. We have to use what means there are at our disposal. And in my view, and I'm going to put it blank, that is Jewish money. There is an enormous amount of Jewish money in politics, by which I mean...
But that's exactly what you mean.
Yep.
You
What is
mean
he-
that Jewish billionaires put their money into politics and control the politics of America. That's what he's saying. He's saying that. If I said that, it would.
shekels?
If I said that, it would be anti-Semitic.
That they put their Jew money into taking
Yes.
it away.
What?
It is Jewish money. There is an enormous amount of Jewish money in politics, by which I mean Jewish donors, wildly disproportionate, not only charitably, but politically. When I say charitably, I mean nobody really knows the numbers. Jews make up 2% of the population. According to some studies, Jews make up 20% of the charitable contributions made in the United States annually. That is a tenfold. Think about that. Think about the disproportion of that. And in politics, it's pretty close.
So he's telling you that Jews are disproportionately, wildly overrepresented with Jewish money in politics. And why do they put that money in politics? To control it.
Charitable donations? What charitable donations? Cars for kids?
Pagers?
Free pagers.
Again, if I said this, it would be anti-Semitic. If I said
I wouldn't say it.
Jews make up 2% of the population, they make up 20% of the political spending with their Jewish money. If I said that, I would be canceled. They'd take down my channel and everything because I'm an anti-Semite. That's what they would say. He's saying it.
It's because only Nazis and Zionists conflate Judaism with this horseshit.
That's exactly right.
So
Let me back it up. Let's hear it again.
Jews make up 20% of the charitable contributions made in the United States annually. That is a tenfold. Think about that. Think about the disproportion of that. And in politics, it's pretty close also. And if that money isn't used, why do people give money? Because they want to influence elections to get people elected who reflect their views. Well,
so 2% of the population takes 20% of all political spending to control the politics. In favor of who? Americans? Jews? Israel? That's what he's saying.
And then, the evidence is Trump didn't do any. Well, I let you no tax on tips. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This is an existential issue for Jews. And the Jews.
And by the way, look at the faces of the people. Look at the faces of the people sitting there like, and they're not interrupting him for a second. Like, okay, everybody ixnay on the OJ.
Because they know if I say something, it's going to look really extra worse than it looks now. So they have to sit there and look at this chick. Look at this chick here who's like staring into him. I
This
mean,
one?
they both are, but this one's like, are you kidding me?
Are you're doing the thing that we're not supposed to do? You're telling the truth. It's this quiet part. We're on a Zoom. You're not supposed to say. You're supposed to say this in secret.
Oh, by the way, those rich Jews he's bragging about controlling all the thing, you know how they treat the regular Jews? Like absolute shit. They're extremely racist and classist. Did you know that?
Instructions to get people elected who reflect their views. Well, this is an existential issue for Jews. And the Jews who explicitly give money because they want to make it clear to anti-Semitic candidates that they are going to have to go through a buzzsaw and that they are not going to simply waltz in and be, if they're treated with kid gloves by the New York Times, we are double time going to do what we can to expose who they are, to find out what we can find out about them that will harm them, and that we will do what we can to...
You're going to do what you can to find out what you can to harm them? Really? Like what? Like finding out they're on the Epstein Island flight list? You mean, that should be a deal breaker, shouldn't it? Right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Prevent them from will harm them, and that we will do what we can to prevent them from taking office. What other choice does American Jewry have?
How about live your own moral principles you supposedly have, you scumbag? I mean, I thought you studied Torah. You don't follow it? It tells you not to do this kind of shit.
Let me play it without stopping it if I can. Because you have to hear it in its...
What else can we do besides every stereotype? That's the only way. Unreal. John Pudhurst. What a great name.
I think it is a good thing if Massey and the people like him and others believe that if you cross the line into anti-Semitism, Jews are going to use the power that we have openly to go for you. Because what other recourse?
And let's remember what he's considering anti-Semitism by Thomas Massey. Anti-Semitism is, I don't think we should fund a genocide. I don't think we should fund Israel. I think we should have the Epstein list exposed. That's what he's calling anti-Semitism.
Which is how you know Israel's guilty, because it's anti-Semitism to expose the Epstein thing. That's how you know Israel's guilty. Right there.
Right there.
Idiot.
Is there? Are we just going to sit here and take it, beg for scraps, hope that nice people are nice to us? The Democratic Party is going explicitly anti-Semitic. We can see it happening. People are getting benefits, as Seth says, for being anti-Semites. That seems to be part of an appeal in primaries to the left and the party. We have to use what means there are at our disposal. And in my view, and I'm going to put it blank, that is Jewish money. There is an enormous amount of Jewish money in politics, by which I mean Jewish donors, wildly disproportionate, not only charitably, but politically. When I say charitably, I mean nobody really knows the numbers. Jews make up 2% of the population. According to some studies, Jews make up 20% of the charitable contributions made in the United States annually. That is a tenfold. Think about that. Think about the disproportion of that. And in politics, it's pretty close also. And if that money isn't used, why do people give money? Because they want to influence elections to get people elected who reflect their views. Well, this is an existential issue for Jews. And the Jews who explicitly give money because they want to make it clear to anti-Semitic candidates that they are going to have to go through a buzzsaw and that they are not going to simply waltz in and be, if they're treated with kid gloves by the New York Times, we are double time going to do what we can to expose who they are, to find out what we can find out about them that will harm them, and that we will do what we can to prevent them from taking office. What other choice does American Jewry have?
Oi! I don't want any trouble.
I mean, what is it?
Done it again! You dirty bastard! You've done it again!
Where is the cop?
Unreal, dude. All the people sitting there who I assume agree with him must be sickened. I mean, their faces, they look sickened.
They look sickened. Here's what Glenn Greenwald, Jew, has to say about it. He said it's always like this. Israel loyalists explicitly threaten U.S. politicians with destruction if they don't support Israel because, as Norm Podhoretz, Nepo Baby, or Lucky Boy, as Keaton and Gruss say, Lucky Boy says here, there's an enormous amount of Jewish money in politics. But if you say it, you're an anti-Semite. By the way, here's another tweet from John Podhoretz. Trump bombed Iran. He can say Shylock 100 times a day forever, as far as I'm concerned.
Wait, but I'm doing a Shakespeare play, playing Shylock. Can I not say?
You remember this? You remember when this was Norm? Was it Norm? The Masters of the Universe are Jews. I think his name is Norm Coleman, former U.S. senator, declares in
Can you
Israel.
read their own thing? I mean, if you want to know, remember the story of Moses, how big of trouble he got in for saying we made the water come out of the rock? Because you're not supposed to say that kind of shit. This is grounds in your own religious text to kick you the fuck out of Israel. I will cause the land to vomit you out. That's what God says. And he will. And he should.
More from Glenn Greenwald. So here's AIPAC bragging that they bought that election. AIPAC all but admits to buying Massey's seat in Kentucky, but if you point that out, or said something similar, you're an evil Jew-hating Nazi. It's just so tiring. Glenn says exactly. AIPAC just openly boasted that they replaced 2 Israeli critics in Congress with ardent pro-Israeli loyalists, now in the seats of Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene. But if you say that AIPAC does this, the ADL and Jake Tapper will call you anti-Semitic.
Jake Tapper, the former Hooters lobbyist who turned...
That's right. So I didn't... Kurt, maybe you're aware of this, but Dostoevsky wondered how they would treat us if we were only 2% of the population and they were the vast majority. Would they treat us well? Meaning...
Check, check, check. Yep. All right. Wait, did I already do both of these? No. There they are. Oh fuck, I gotta get back to my body. Shit. I forgot my ammo. Alright, back on it. Those grenades scared the shit out of me every time.
Meaning, if I guess he's saying if the Russians were 2% of the population and the Jews were the 98, would they treat us well? This
Aren't they all Russians?
Would they allow us to control their country if we were only 2%? Would they be kind? And so he tweets this out. It is not for nothing that over there in Europe, the Jews rule all the stock exchanges. It is not for nothing that they control capital, that they are the masters of credit. And it's not for nothing, I repeat, that they are also the masters of international politics. And what is going to happen in the future is known to the Jews themselves. Their reign, their complete reign is approaching. What is coming is complete triumph of ideas before which sentiments of humanity, the thirst for truth, Christian feelings, the national and popular pride of European peoples must bow. I sometimes imagine, what if there were not 3 million Jews, but 3 million Russians in Russia? And there were 80 million Jews. Well, how would they treat Russians? And how would they lord it over them? What rights would Jews give Russians? Wouldn't they turn them into slaves? Worse than that, wouldn't they skin them all together? Wouldn't they slaughter them to the last man, to the point of complete extermination, as they used to do with alien people in ancient times? I repeat, is it possible to conceive of a Jew without God? Moreover, I do not believe in the existence of atheists, even among educated Jews. They are all of the same essence. They are all undeviatingly awaiting the Messiah, all of them, from the very lowest to the highest and most learned philosophers and rabbi Kabbalists. They all believe that the Messiah will again unite them in Jerusalem and bring by his sword all nations to their feet. That was from Dostoevsky, The Diary of a Writer. Dostoevsky said that. I'm not saying that. That's what Dostoevsky said.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. All these people are like, oh, what about the Christians? If you're militaristic or you're whatever, you're not a Christian. So Christians are like, really are like maybe 2%. They really are. Everybody else is like not a Christian that says they are. It's all nationalism and nonsense and murder and war. And that blood and soil crap. And they all these countries have a guy that's pushing that, like their blood and soil narrative. It's a little gross for any Jews to be doing it because, you know, the thing with Hitler kind of, I would think, would put a bad taste in your mouth for them.
No, I would just switch it to I would switch that to, again, most of the Jews I know are just as disgusted, just like Glenn Greenwald is. He's a Jew. They're just as disgusted by Israel and all things Israel as I am. So I wouldn't say all Jews. I would say those Israeli Zionists. And the fact that they hoodwinked Christian evangelicals into being Christian Zionists is the craziest thing ever.
I mean, it's not supposed to be a race. Your religion is just not supposed to be a race. It's supposed to be how you behave.
That's right.
As you can see, everybody says one thing and does another all the time.
We stand for you.
And if you'd like to hear my jokes about it, and I thought this, and I got them. Come see me this Saturday in Atlanta. My one and only trip to Atlanta. I'll never perform there again. That's it. This Saturday. So if you want to see me, this is your chance. So I know you got Memorial Day weekend plans. Take some time out. Come back to the city. And come see me in Atlanta. I'll be at the Helium Comedy Club Saturday. And then I'll be in Raleigh, Spokane, Tacoma, Levittown, Rosemont, Chicago. Also, we're having our panel show with celebrity guests June 19th at the Starlight, what is it called?
Lounge.
Cabaret.
You know, they're already buying tickets.
It's on Ventura Boulevard. It's right by Sushi Row in Studio City. I'll see you there. Only 100 tickets, going fast. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. There's already a link. Over to Steph.
Doctor, I would suggest the emergent self. Consciousness is unique to each individual, but it sure is running on an old script, million of years old, in fact, Doctor. You can see the Israeli recoil as he hears information that goes against his heavy indoctrination and brainwashing. Click off. Tucker is wrong. America is the most violent country in the world. Israel genocides pales in comparison to ours. Israel is junior varsity.
Hey,
Roger Meadows. Thanks, Jimmy.
Hey, guess what? Guess what, Kurt? I don't know if you know this, but California's about to run out of gas.
What? But we're doing so well in Iran.
What? Do you think I'm kidding? Here we go.
Well, we have an update on California's oil and gas situation as state leaders get ready for prices to go up even more.
And California's relying on more imported fuel than ever situation made worse by the war in Iran. Governor
So my first question is, why does California rely on imported oil? If you drive up and down the coast of California, which I've done many times from Los Angeles to Monterey, you see nothing but oil wells in the ocean. There's oil everywhere. We're an oil-rich country. I think we have more oil in America than anywhere. Am I wrong about this?
I thought we had so much oil. Like, they were touting it, weren't they?
We export, Suri, does the United States export oil?
Yes, the United States exports oil. In 2021, the United States exported about 8.6 million barrels a day of petroleum to about 176 countries and 4 U.S. territories. The United States has been exporting more oil and petroleum products than it imports since August 2021.
So why we 8.6 million barrels of oil a day the United States exports. So why do we import oil at the same time? Why would you put oil from another country on a ship, ship it across the ocean to our country when we already have oil here that we're sending someplace else?
Was it to China to make up for the fact we fucked up Iran and now we got to give oil to China?
No, they've been doing this. They've been doing this since 2024. I mean, for a while. No. Anyway, it's crazy.
What about Venezuela? Is the oil helping from kidnapping the president of Venezuela? Is that helping us? I thought we got oil.
I thought we got Venezuela. I thought we got the oil. What is going on? Why is the United States exporting oil and then importing oil? Because oil all gets sold at the same price. It's not like, well, we make more money when we export it. No, oil always gets sold at the same price. Am I wrong about this? There's the international market for oil, just like gold. It's all at the same price. So what? So again, so this is another example of how in the United States, the billionaire class, capital is above the government. That's all that. That's another. But anyway, I don't ask Grok. Why does America? Can you ask Grok, Misha? Do you have time? Or are you busy? Can you ask Grok why does America export oil if it also imports oils? And then you can tell me what Grok says. Here we go. Let's get back to this. Here we go.
Well, we have an update on California's oil and gas situation as state leaders get ready for prices to go up even more.
And California is relying on more imported fuel than ever right now, a situation made worse by the war in Iran. Governor Gavin Newsom's administration says it's working on a plan in the event of gas shortages.
Now, this was at the center of a hearing at the state capitol today, and KCRA3 political director Ashley Zavala joins us now. Ashley, what's the plan here?
Yeah, this was kind of a last-minute hearing that was organized this week. State energy officials said California basically has enough supply to meet demand for the next 6 weeks if the Strait of Hormuz stays closed. Beyond that, there are a lot of questions. This hearing was in the Assembly's Energy and Utilities Committee. In fact, it's still going on right now. It included Governor Gavin Newsom's top officials who monitor the oil and gas industry, notably California Energy Commission Vice Chairman Siva Gunda. Western States Petroleum Association President Jody Mueller was there, along with the UC Berkeley energy expert Severin Borenstein. Everyone agreed the war in Iran is making the state's gas price situation worse, while also agreeing California is relying way more on foreign countries for oil, which makes the state vulnerable to price spikes. Gunda specifically was
They had an emergency meeting because I guess they didn't see this coming.
Well, they're not that good at planning like water for fires, and I can see that.
Emergency meeting. You waited until you had 6 weeks left of oil and gas in your. This is the 5th largest economy in the world.
Are you going to blame DEI for this, Jimmy? Because I won't stand for it.
One of our supporters says, I believe the issue is we don't have enough refineries. We sell our crude to other countries that can process it and sell it back to us as processed fuel. That might be the issue.
So, the U.S. produces, it's a net exporter of total petroleum, crude oil plus refined products, but it remains a net importer of crude oil specifically. This seeming paradox stems from differences in oil types, refinery designs, economics, logistics, and global trade dynamics. It's not about shortage, it's about optimization and profitability. So it's about, and by the way, why does Exxon get to make all the money? If you live in Alaska, Kurt, if you live in Alaska,
yeah, I know, $1,500 per head.
You get some of that oil money. They get a check directly from the oil that is pumped out of the ground in Alaska. They get a check. I don't get that in California. Do you get that in Texas? No. Although there's a shit ton of oil that's under the United States land. Why don't we get a check for that? It goes right into the pockets of ExxonMobil, the billionaire class, the Epstein class, and people who own stock. It doesn't go to the people. We all own that. They give them the grant. They give them the land that oil is under at pennies on the dollar.
That's right. Well, because you live in a corrupt, fake country, and it doesn't work for you, and everything's a sham.
Everything's a lie. Everything's hypocrisy. So that's why I don't comply. So there's more here. There's a little bit more. The U.S. produces more oil overall than it consumes domestically. Did you know that the United States is the world's top producer of oil?
Yes.
Around 13 million barrels per day.
Yeah. No, I knew that.
It has been a net exporter of total petroleum since 2019. For example, it exports 10.7 million barrels versus 7.9 million barrels in 25 data. However, it is still a net importer of crude oil. It imports more raw crude. So it's the exact opposite of what our Super Chat guy said, because we're importing raw crude oil.
Mm-hmm.
Much of the imported crude gets refined into products that the U.S. then exports.
Oh, good. Why should it benefit you?
Oh my God. About 60 to 70% of U.S. refinery capacity runs best on heavy crudes. Retooling for only okay, anyway. We are the world's largest, bigger than Russia, bigger than Saudi Arabia, bigger than Venezuela, we're the biggest. And
how did OPEC do that in the 70s to us with the gas shortage? How did we have a gas shortage in the 70s then? Was that because all the oil was sent out by business jerks and we can't?
Because I guess we don't produce enough domestically and we needed to import. We're still importing. Okay, let's get back to this. I'm sorry I stopped this, but here we go.
Asked what happens if the Strait of Hormuz stays closed for another 60 days. He said the state's oil supply is stable in the short term, but
it's stable. Did you hear what this asswipe just said? Oh no, our supply is stable in the short term. You mean like after? But after 6 weeks, we're up this creek without a plan? Yes, but in the short term, we're stable. Could you? So because that's the guy who's in charge of the oil in California. Oh no, it's stable. You know, not for long.
Beyond that, if the strait stays closed, prices will likely go up. Here's what that conversation was like.
I do not see presently, at least up to 6 weeks, a shortfall or a supply shortfall. Beyond that, I think based on what we're hearing from the industry and what we have observed, the pricing will move molecules towards California, but it will come at a price. And that's something that we need to closely watch.
For 6 weeks at least, there seems to be some certainty, but almost as certain is that if this situation continues after 6 weeks, we would likely see more price increases for gasoline.
More exposure, yes, absolutely.
A gas station at the corner by my house selling gas for $7 in California. This is in California. I think the average price in California is over $6.
What should California consumers be expecting in terms of price?
What we should be expecting is a revolt and people to get in the streets and overthrow the ruling elite and put in some people who aren't children to run things.
I think they'd be killed if they weren't.
This conflict continues for 3 months, 6 months.
If the prices continue to go beyond $6.25, you will really see demand coming down. So we would expect,
No, he's saying if prices stay up right now where they are, $6.25. I guess that's what is that the average? Did you ask Greg, what's the average price of gas in California? If prices stay up there, we're going to see a reduce in demand. You know what that means?
People can't afford to go nowhere.
That means people can't afford to buy gas and go anywhere.
$6.14.
The average price in California is $6.14.
The national average sits around $4.53.
It's irritating to hear from somebody in a foreign accent, even though I don't know.
Why is that? I know. Why does that? That does make it a little extra. I don't
we see demand coming down. So we would expect, the prices to stabilize under 7, more like 650.
I could certainly see the price of crude oil going up another 4.
So what he's just said was prices will stabilize at around 650. And why are they going to stabilize? What he just said was because people are going to stop buying it. So the demand is going to go down. Supply and demand, like we all learned in 4th grade. So the price, if people still kept buying gas at the level that they're buying now, the price would go well above 650, but it won't because people don't have the money to pay that, and people will stop going places, which will again suppress the economy and throw California into a recession.
Oh, UBI time. Oh, the ballroom will be done. The command center for Stargate, where they can control the surveillance and the yeah.
So what he's trying to do there, Kurt, is he's trying to say, no, it'll stabilize around 650. But what he's underplaying is because people will be broke and they can't afford it, and they won't be able to travel or go anywhere or do anything.
Hey, 2030 goals. We're going to hit them. I thought we weren't going to hit them because Trump got in. I was afraid, but now I know we're going to hit them. 2030.
And believe me, so there's climate change people have to say, well, everybody should drive an electric car anyway. We don't have enough electricity to power our air conditioners on a hot day in California. You think that we're going to... An electric car is the equivalent of 20 refrigerators in someone's house. To power one car is the equivalent of 20 refrigerators. We don't have the electric grid for that because we take all our money and we send it to Israel and Ukraine and 1,000 military bases across the world. That's why. And $80 billion into prisons.
You know what I forgot about the last time? Because I wasn't born in '73, but when the OPEC, the price in the '70s when it went up, that was because of the Yom Kippur War. So that was also because of stinking Israel. Every time Israel gets squirrely, this happens. Every time.
More like 650.
I could certainly see the price of crude oil going up another $40 or $80 a barrel if we really went 60 more days. And I use those two numbers because they translate to another $1 or $2 per gallon. I don't think that's implausible at all. Unfortunately, I think that would be a crisis, and it would be completely out of control of the state of California.
The 5th largest economy in the world did not see this coming, has no plan for it. But the good news is that 26 ships went through the Strait of Hormuz just yesterday, escorted by Iran, and they paid a tax. They paid the toll, and they went through. So Iran's in control of the world oil supply right now. That's the result of Donald Trump's genius and Benjamin Netanyahu's genius. Now Iran controls the world oil supply and the market. And 26 ships yesterday went through the Strait of Hormuz because they paid a toll. And Donald Trump stopped Operation Freedom. He's not blowing up ships anymore. They're not trying to shut down the strait. They're just one dumb idea after another. And he says, well, if this keeps going, then we can't control it. You can't control it now.
Severin Borenstein, who you just heard there, he's a researcher and economist who has been studying the oil and gas industry in California for decades. He did float the suggestion of a possible gas tax holiday here in California. Governor Gavin Newsom has shut down the idea of suspending the gas taxes recently as a couple of weeks ago.
Did the governor say why he was shutting that idea down?
He just said no. He basically said no.
So is there an emergency plan in place?
So that was actually another question.
Yeah, their emergency plan is pound sand, stay home, live in a 15-minute city.
Hey, how'd your home burning down go? Did they help you with that, right?
Yeah, what was the emergency plan when the whole city burnt down? No, they had no plan. They didn't have fire trucks. They didn't have water in the reservoir. They had fire hydrants that didn't work.
It's an easy way to hide your plan by hiring incompetence, pretending it's diversity, but that way you can disguise the fact that you want to take people's land, burn the shit down, and push them into, I guess you'd call it a reservation in the old days.
Hey, by the way, Spencer Pratt's people still haven't gotten back to us, right? Spencer Pratt
It's because of Israel's shit. It's because of that.
Spencer Pratt, it's exactly right. And by the way, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
If you don't know Spencer Pratt, he's an idiot. And people are like, we got to vote him in because we don't want another. He's an idiot. You think he has a plan? It's easy to take a cell phone and go videotape homelessness and crime in Los Angeles. Very easy to do. What's harder is to figure out how to use politics to fix that situation, which Spencer Pratt is not going to do because Spencer Pratt is an empty-headed idiot.
What if it goes viral, his video, and then I, a shadowy money guy, working for a certain Middle Eastern country, we don't have to say which one, I say, hey, there's something to this. We should run this guy for office.
That's right.
And that's how it works.
That is how it's working.
They tried to run Brian Callen for governor of Texas, Brian was telling me, and he was like, what? He goes, I think he's a good guy at the end of the day just for that. Because he's not qualified to be the governor, and he knows it. He would have been a puppet of some psychopath, just like what Spencer Pratt's going to be.
That lawmakers asked Gunda in this hearing. Gunda essentially said he's working on it. There is some proprietary information.
So the question was, do you have an emergency plan? And the guy goes, we're working on it. See you in 6 weeks when we run out of gas and oil.
Some trade secrets from the oil industry that he legally cannot make public about what the near-term supply could look like when it comes to oil and gas. Gunda said
So it's a secret. So the thing that the whole state runs on is a secret. We can't tell you. We can't tell you how much we have. It's all a secret. Why? Because, you don't live in a democracy.
It's national security. It's national security, Jimmy. That means you have to black out who invited Jeffrey Epstein to that comedy show, Comedy Central station that I was on. He was invited for his birthday. We don't know who invited him because it's national security.
National security.
Is in negotiations right now to try to ensure stability in California if the situation in Iran persists another 3 to 6 months, but he did not give a timeline on when exactly a public update on that would be coming. So again, a lot of questions tonight on what the future looks like.
Californians are drowning in these gas prices.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Well, how come in the 70s, and that was Israel's fault as well, because we were helping them in the Yom Kippur War, so that's why OPEC did that. You never really hear that when they talk about that gas crisis. Do you? They never bring up that part. That is directly from the Yom Kippur War. So every time Israel does this shit, we have gas shoots right all the way up.
So a big problem in California, as my friend Dylan just texted me to remind me, is that there climate change, which is a scam, and the people who know how to use crises to scam you, like Jeff Bezos was allowed to keep Amazon open while your local mom and pop store had to close, but Amazon stayed open. Same thing with climate change. They're pushing green. They want you to go green, so they've closed down refineries in California. Did you know that? And they've made it too expensive for oil companies to refine gas oil here. And so that's why we also drive from Los Angeles on Highway 101. Take the one, you take it along the coastline, and you see nothing but oil wells out in the ocean. And we're importing oil. And California wants gas expensive to push green energy grift, which it is. Green energy is a grift. We already showed you that windmills actually increase climate change, kill whales, and they're an environmental disaster. Same thing with solar panels. They
death ray for birds.
They kill birds, and they have a bigger carbon footprint than they produce. They want to punish gasoline consumers and force electric vehicles, except we don't have the electric grid to support electric vehicles. If everybody today went out and got an electric car, we wouldn't have power in California. Everything would shut down. We'd have blackouts. This is amazing. This is called end of an empire. This is the fifth largest economy in the world, California. And they don't have oil refineries because of the green energy grift.
We can all wish it's the end of the empire, but I ain't holding my breath. I mean, the Epstein files really should prove to everybody that the scumbags in charge are going to protect this to the very
We're at every empire ends with a looting phase, and we're in the looting phase, meaning they keep printing money and putting. Donald Trump was supposed to reduce the deficit, make your dollar stronger, and he did the exact opposite. And he's doing insider trading. He made up almost $1 billion insider trading. His son Barron made $135 million in one day. So the grift is here. That's why he's giving $200 and $300 billion for the Golden Dome, which is going to cost trillions. Which is why they keep. He wants to give an extra. He wants to double the defense budget. He wants to double. By the way, he just doubled the ballroom from $400 million, which he said he was going to fund privately, and now it's not privately, and now it's $1 billion, and you're gonna pay for it. Pound sand, suck it.
But when we're dancing in that ballroom, we're all going to be real happy, right, Bill? Right, Jimmy? When we're using that public ballroom we all paid for, and really having a great ball. Everybody loves a great ballroom. The Golden Dome, your prison.
Your prison. The Golden Dome is a surveillance state, just like the AI data centers, just like Flock cameras. Flock cameras have not stopped crime. They haven't lowered crime. They just made it easier for you to be a slave and a prisoner.
You know, when Trump talks about the new golden age that's coming, that's not something from the Bible or something. And people think that. That's the age of Saturn and those, and that's what that star on the flag is, by the way. The star of Saturn on the Star of Remphan. It's the age of Saturn. It's basically his son-in-law and that creep cult he's with that apparently call all the shots. We're going to do every single thing they have in their end of the world playbook. We're going to do all of it. They're doing it right now in front of your face.
Right in your face.
Don't matter if you don't believe in it, but they believe in it, and they're doing it.
And you got right-wing influencers.
Right out of Zbigniew Brzezinski's book, The Technotronic Skills. Yep. Remember I read that? It sounded exactly like what we have now? Because they've been planning it for a long time.
Just as corrupt as CNN, just as corrupt as MSNBC, just as corrupt as Fox News, you have right-wing influencers on YouTube that are completely controlled. And lying to you. Lying to you. That guy who beat Thomas Massey, he didn't get elected because he had a better idea. He got elected because of $32 million in lies, in propaganda.
Hey, have you seen the footage of that guy on Fox News that was clearly wearing one of those CIA masks as it was coming undone on his neck?
Oh, I did not see that, no.
I'm dying to know why.
Send it.
I like how people think you're crazy if you think that Joe Biden had a double and that they have masks. That CIA people have.
Yeah,
they
Saddam
think you're
Hussein
crazy.
had a double.
What?
He had many.
Are you nuts?
You think we don't have the technology of Saddam Hussein to have a double for the president? Is everybody stupid?
They've had this since 1992. A woman put on a mask, sat in George Herbert Walker Bush's cabinet meeting, and he didn't even know it was a fake person.
Well, they have everybody trained. This is the Overton window that Bill Maher refused to learn about. The reason we have an Overton window is that's not within the framework of acceptable discourse to bring up obvious things that you should know that are true. It's just, don't talk about it. We don't talk about that. So talk about what Israel's doing, for example. That shouldn't be in the Overton window, but it is, and they're panicking about it. Because their shit only works while you don't talk about it.
If you want to hear my jokes about this before the end of the world, I'll see you this Saturday in Atlanta, and I'm never going back to Atlanta. So if you live in Atlanta, it's your one chance to come see me if you like me. And believe me, nobody does a comedy show like I do. And the reason I tell you that, because if I don't, fucking nobody else will. Because I am what they call a radical, and I'm too hot. I'm too radioactive for the mainstream news, and and for Netflix and HBO. You know what HBO gives you? Fucking Bill Maher.
Well, you know, people are whining about the roast, which, by the way, Shane and Jay did a tremendous job on that roast. But people are mad about it. No joke, or I think Tony said. And meanwhile, like, Netflix is cool with that. Just don't talk about anything like, real. Because you could say boo-boos and no-nos, and they'll be like, see, we had free speech. You can say no words. Just don't bring up a certain Middle Eastern country, you know?
Are you kidding, Kurt?
What?
That's true?
Wait, which part?
That Netflix didn't want him to bring up a certain Middle Eastern country?
I don't know. There's no, like, explicit directive I know of, except obviously don't.
Yeah, I got it.
I mean, like, do they have to do that? I know it's Muslim-run Hollywood, but they're not as cool with that as you think.
The Arabs do run Hollywood. We're going to see you in Atlanta, Raleigh, Spokane, Tacoma, Levittown, Rosemont, Chicago, and June 19th in Studio City on Ventura Boulevard, right by Sushi Row. We're doing our panel show with lots of celebrities. Only 100 tickets. Tickets going fast. Go to jimmydore.com. We're going to be at the Starlight Cabaret. Over to Steph.
Hey, Jimmy, how do you feel about going to Rumble?
Okay, let me tell people something.
All right.
I'll see you over at Rumble.
I'll keep them occupied. See how they like this? We got trouble. I'll cover you.
this is Jimmy. Who's this?
Jimmy, Francine, this is Harrison Ford.
Oh, hey, friend of the show, Harrison Ford. What a pleasure to hear from you. What can I tell you? What can you tell us, Harrison?
Social justice, mass extinction.
I'm sorry, what?
Mass justice, social extinction.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit lost here.
My apologies, man. I'm fucked out of my mind, dude, for real. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just gave a commencement address to students of a real university. High out of my mind.
You gave a real commencement address to a real graduating class from a real university? What were they thinking?
Arizona State.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. Never mind.
Still, though, I was so high that obviously, Jimmy, I believe weed should be legal, of course, for everyone as a human right. To be as high as I was, though, delivering that address, that shouldn't be legal. You should go to jail for that, just being that high. Not even talking to anyone.
Right. I hear you.
You should just go to jail for being as high as I was, let alone for being as high as I was and conveying any manner of advice or guidance to young people.
Okay, yeah, I get it. What did you say?
Who knows?
You don't remember anything at all?
Yeah, no, I do. I just wish I didn't.
Oh.
It was about the environment and being good stewards of the earth.
Well, that's not a terrible message.
Yeah, but the whole fucking speech was about that. What was I thinking?
Yeah, perhaps a little heavy-handed there, huh?
Jimmy, as you well know, there are many different kinds of stoners.
Yep.
There's the introspective philosopher. There's Giggles McGee, who thinks everything is funny.
Yep.
And then there's my type, the absolute fucking bummer outer. Now, THC makes me a world-class Debbie Downer, and that's what I did to those poor kids.
Right, okay.
These kids are about to set out on their life's journey full of hope, and also probably thinking about the insane partying they're about to do tonight. And here comes Father Time rambling on about the imminent collapse of the Earth's ability to feed its population.
Kind of a bummer.
A major bummer. Bummer to the max, man. And then I talked about indigenous people being murdered.
What?
I know.
Was that even related?
I mean, maybe tangentially. In the boomer liberal mind, indigenous people, you know, like tribal people with spears, are part of the environment. They have a mystical relationship to it that we think is neat when we smoke weed.
Interesting. Is this interesting?
Not really.
No.
Not really. So imagine you're a grad sitting there thinking, hey, maybe if Jenny Larson and I have enough tequila sunrises tonight at Greg's party, we can finally do the deed. Then my ass is up there, and indigenous land is being murdered so that agave plants can be grown so you can have your little tequila-fueled sex party, you fucking monsters.
Ouch.
Yeah, boner killer.
Yeah.
Social justice, mass extinction. Congrats on all your hard work, grads.
Do you think you'll ever give another commencement address?
Actually, yeah, it was pretty fun.
Even after you regret the speech you gave at ASU?
I mean, that's their problem, not mine. I'd do it all over again.
Would you try to be inspirational next time?
No.
All right, then. All right, we got to move on, Harrison, but any parting words?
We're all going to die alone.
All right, then. Well, thanks for calling and talk to you soon.
Go fuck yourself.
Come see me in Atlanta. I'll be at the Helium Comedy Club Saturday, and then I'll be in Raleigh, Spokane, Tacoma, Levittown, Rosemont, Chicago. Also, we're having our panel show with celebrity guests June 19th at the Starlight Cabaret.
You know, they're already buying tickets.
It's on Ventura Boulevard. It's right by Sushi Row in Studio City. I'll see you there. Only 100 tickets, going fast. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. There's already a link. Guess what Facebook's doing, Kurt? Facebook is making their employees train their AI and then firing them.
Yeah.
So, leaked audio in an all-hands meeting on April 30th, Mark Zuckerberg tells employees that he's training AI on them ahead of mass layoffs.
Why is he telling them that?
Let's listen.
In other news, I know layoffs are top of mind, but there were also some updates this week around a question around employee device tracking. So, can you share more on employee device tracking? I think the way that it was announced left folks with some.
Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about what we're doing. Like Alex just said, going into what makes these AI models great, right? There's basically a few key ingredients. There's getting the research and the architecture good. There's having good infrastructure, which is both the quantity of compute, but like as important, if not more, is also just like how efficiently can you use it? How reliable is it? What is the quality of that? And then the third piece, which is in some ways, it's hard to say that any of these are more important than the other because they're all necessary, is effectively the data and what knowledge it learns. So we're in a phase where basically the AI models learn from watching really smart people do things. And if you're trying to get it to be able to do certain capabilities, having it be able to observe really smart people doing those things is very important. So there are a few examples of where we're trying to do this across the company, because one basic insight and hypothesis that we have is that a lot of data generation across the field is done by these like contract companies. And Alex knows much.
So what he just said, if you missed it, I don't know why this is sped up, but it is. I didn't want it sped up, but it is accident. I'll take the blame. So what he just said was they have AI watching people across his company, so they could learn from watching really smart people that work at Facebook. So then they can get rid of them. He didn't say that part yet.
Well, if they were smart, they didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
This because he ran one before coming here, but in general, the average intelligence of the people who are at this company is significantly higher than the average set of people that you can get to do tasks if you're working through the contract, through these contractors. So if we're trying to teach the models coding, for example, then having people internally build tools that or solve tasks that help teach the model how to code, we think is going to dramatically increase our model's coding ability faster than what others in the industry have the capability to do, who don't have thousands and thousands of extremely strong engineers in their company. So that's one example. Another thing that our system.
So the people who are doing the coding right now, the super smart people at Facebook, he's got AI watching how they do it, so then the AI can do it, and those people don't have a job. He doesn't say that second. So if they're so smart, don't you think they would have seen this coming, right? And if they're so smart, they know the second part of what he's not saying, correct, Kurt?
I know they think like autistics. They're compartmentalized to never look at the big picture. Just be really smart about one thing, and that's how you miss that you're training your replacement.
Hey, there's more.
Needs to be very good at is using computers. So the way that you get a system to be good at using computers is by having it watch really smart people use computers. So that's basically the essence of what we are trying to do here. We're rolling it out in a way that is like, it's like we're not like actually no human or anything is like looking at or watching what people are doing on their computers. The content is sort of stripped out like as much as possible. It's like none of the data is being used for like looking at what people are doing or surveillance or performance tracking or anything like that. It's purely just like we are using this to feed a very large amount of content into the AI model, so that way it can learn how smart people use computers to accomplish tasks. I think this is going to be a very big advantage if we can do it. So anyway, that's what we're trying to do. I think that there are going to be probably other things around the company where we basically try to enlist the fact that we have just like a very high quality set of people to teach the AI systems to do different things that we need to get them to be able to do over time. So this probably isn't the last thing like this, but I think this is like an interesting strategy. I think that we want to see how well it does. At this point, it's some of a hypothesis. We'll actually be able to complete the loop to see how well these kinds of things actually improve it. If they don't, we won't do more things like it. If they do, then we'll try to do more things like it. So I think that's kind of the basic thing. In terms of how we communicate about this, this stuff is tricky. I think I think like when I was looking through the details of this, there's like all these things that we could have done better. So yes, I acknowledge that we'll try to improve this. The kind of core tension on this is that we want to communicate as clearly as possible about what we're doing, while not having all of the details of things that we think are going to be strategically differentiating leak immediately to competitors. And so I think part of the challenge is like we're a pretty big company. If we post stuff publicly, it leaks. Some things matter more if they leak than others, right? Like if we're building something in our ad system, for example, or our infrastructure that's like bespoke to us and it's not something that other people are going to copy, and it leaks, it's like not that big of a deal, right? Maybe it's kind of annoying. I think we know that AI is like one of the most competitive fields, right? Like probably in history. So anything that can give us, that can make the quality of our thing better, is generally not something that I think it is in our strategic interest as a company to lay out the details in a lot of detail, knowing the physics of the situation is that stuff is going to leak. So I think you will have to, we're just going to have to navigate that. And it's going to be a little bit different on a thing-by-thing basis in terms of how we communicate. But I actually think it is like not strategically in your interest for us to communicate everything like in all the detail that we normally would on this. But I think we do need to try to make sure that we get this right and communicate enough so that people understand what's going on. So this, I think, will be a continued thing that we're trying to navigate. It's part of the complexity of trying how do we navigate running the company through what is just this incredibly dynamic period. There's like lots of things that I think people would like more certainty on than we have, lots of things that people would like more details on that it's not necessarily like, it's not that it's bad for any one person to know, but it is bad if it leaks. And I don't know how we exactly navigate that. So that's the basic situation on that.
So, Rushi says tech companies really normalize announcing 10,000 layoffs like it's casual weather update every other Friday. Whole lives getting flipped upside down so CEOs can say we're becoming more efficient on an earnings call.
Yeah, that's why they let you have all that DEI gender crap, because they're going to get rid of you anyway, stupids.
So basically, if you're employed by Facebook, you're spoon-feeding a vicious animal that will one day simply just eat you when a spoonful is no longer enough.
Yeah, well, also, it's never going to come alive. This thing where it's going to watch really smart people do things. I just said the smart people didn't see the end coming for their job. So you see how that's not helpful to the AI? What, are you going to make more spurgs in the AI? Come on.
You know, if I certainly was one of those employees, would I train the AI well? I mean, if all these people have all this ingenuity and creativity, why wouldn't they somehow come together and do their own techno revolution?
They're trained not to.
Wink, wink.
So, Jimmy, how do you know that he's going to use this to fire their employees? Well, guess what? As of May 19th, Meta's human resource chief has confirmed the company will cut 10% of its workforce tomorrow. 8,000 workers will lose their jobs via email that was sent out at 4 a.m. The mass layoffs are expected at 4 a.m. last Wednesday. So here, and this is real. Might as well start packing your desk into a cardboard box the moment you get hired at Facebook, because you committed the cardinal sin of being born too late to have a long-lasting, meaningful job.
But the IDF will still be there, right? And the CIA people, they'll still be working there, won't they?
Yes, the IDF people, for sure. But now you are disposable instruction booklet that gets read once and then thrown away. Hey, there's probably a YouTube that explains what you do with a cheerful ukulele playing in the background. A plastic fork has a longer lifespan than you do now, working for that soulless machine called Facebook. And here it is.
Also less plastic in it than your taint.
4 a.m. layoff email. Meta starts alerting 8,000 employees about job cuts and reassigns 7,000 to new AI-powered teams. Meta Platforms, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, has started notifying thousands of employees worldwide that they're being sacked. The latest round of job cuts is expected to hit Meta's engineering and product teams, in particular, engineering. And additional layoffs could come later in the year, Bloomberg reported, citing people familiar. The Mark Zuckerberg-led company had announced plans to cut roughly 8,000 roles globally as part of a restructuring aimed at reducing costs and driving productivity through AI-led automation.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. But don't worry, I'm sure the severance package includes a cool sweatshirt with Facebook written on it. Because that's what you want to parade around in, right? Something that has the name of your former employer on it as you get a job at the local car wash. Wow. The announcement followed Meta's commitment of more than $100 billion to capital expenditures towards artificial intelligence. They're putting $100 billion into getting rid of 100 billion salaries. The day before, Meta informed staff that 7,000 workers had also been reassigned to newly formed teams focused on AI initiatives, including products and agents. Meta started by notifying employees in its Asian hub, Singapore. Employees in Singapore reportedly received emails at 4 a.m. Imagine waking up to that, hey, you're fired. What? That's how you wake up. They send you an email. They didn't even do it in person. Your European and U.S.-based staff are expected to receive word early in their time zone as well, according to an internal memo. Meanwhile, staff are being encouraged to work from home. Meta has just under 80,000 employees at the end of March, ahead of the reassignments and layoffs. And in a memo which was reviewed by Bloomberg News, Meta's head of people, they call it the head of people, Janelle Gale, said the organizations can now operate with smaller teams that are faster and have more accountability because they're spying on you. Work, and by the way, they can work from home. What home? Homes cost money. You know, that's money, the stuff you don't have to pay a machine.
Oh, this is just bullshit. Why is this harder to kill than a fucking hammerhead? The thing is omniscient. It knows where the pip is. It just feels the heat of the pip, and it just uses crazy thrusters to avoid the pip. It's omniscient. It's not a good pilot. It's omniscient.
The restructuring follows Zuckerberg's making AI the company's top priority, committing the bulk of Meta's resources to it to keep pace with rivals like Google and OpenAI. They find every way they can dehumanize you now that you're in a pod.
Yeah, well, we got to compete. What about China on top of all those other rivals? Who do you want to win? Don't you want to become half an iPhone, half man, half iPhone, just to compete with China? You're gonna have to. Well, China could have the best AI, Jimmy.
Meta has gone through waves of layoffs in recent years as Zuckerberg has pushed for increased efficiency, encouraged engineers to use AI agents for coding, and outlined plans to track employees' devices to improve the technology. Zuckerberg even spent time coding his own AI-powered assistant to handle some of his CEO duties, like soliciting employee feedback.
Yeah, he didn't want to read people saying, "Fuck off, Zuckerberg."
Wow. Hey, you're fired as of this moment. Did you find this message helpful? Thanks for your feedback. The restructuring has left Meta employees both frustrated and anxious. I bet. More than 1,000 employees have signed a petition addressed to Zuckerberg and other leaders of the company demanding that it refrain from collecting their data from devices, which can be as granular as gathering keystrokes, mouse movements, and screen content in the effort to train AI. Sorry, pound sand. Others have also taken to social media to post about how the threat of layoffs has impacted their work and morale. Guess what? The machine doesn't care about you. And when I say the machine, I mean Mark Zuckerberg.
I mean, he didn't come up with Facebook anyway. It's a DARPA thing.
It's a DARPA thing.
I mean, we're going to pretend that all these oligarchs are innovators. They're all puppets that are installed. The whole reason we have fake Meta is because the government wanted you to learn how to snitch on yourself all day long. And it worked. So this is just where it goes from there.
A former Meta employee in a post on social media on X said, "My friends still there are either just waiting, hoping to get laid off, or extremely anxious because the job is their lifeline." Recalling the first wave of layoffs at Meta, she added, "I remember the very first big layoff. The night before was almost like doomsday. People were stuffing their bags with free snacks and drinks and chargers." While Meta has framed the layoffs as an opportunity to offset the cost of some of its major AI investments.
What the fuck?
Everyone said that they will generate about $3 billion in savings. That's just a small portion of Meta's projected capital expenditures this year, which could hit $145 billion, and the additional hundreds of billions that the company anticipates spending on AI.
Nah, dude. What the fuck is going on?
Tech layoffs hit 138,000 people in 2026. Nearly 1,000 jobs were cut every day. Look at that. Oracle, UPS, Citi, Amazon, Dell, Meta, Chevron, Microsoft, PayPal. Look at all the people that got fired.
Well, I hope no bitter ex-employee exposes all company secrets and stuff that could harm those companies. That's all I hope for.
I hope they don't drone bomb those companies' AI facilities. That would be horrible. Hours before mass layoffs, Meta donates nearly $1 million to the pro-Becerra Super PAC. That's a guy running for governor here in California. Another investment in Zuckerberg's dystopian future of a world that works for him and leaves scraps for the rest of us. Welcome to the future.
That's all these plastic-looking tech people. That's all they've all been working towards this the whole time, and they need to do it better than China.
Come see me this Saturday in Atlanta. I got jokes about this. I do. And it's the only time I'll ever be in Atlanta, ever. I'm never coming back. This is your one chance. And then I'll see you in Raleigh, Spokane, Tacoma, Levittown, Rosemont, and Chicago. And then June 19th, we're having a special panel show with celebrity guests on Sushi Row on Ventura Boulevard in Studio City. June 19th, 7:30 p.m. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Come see me in Atlanta. I'll be at the Helium Comedy Club Saturday. And then I'll be in Raleigh, Spokane, Tacoma, Levittown, Rosemont, Chicago. Also, we're having our panel show with celebrity guests June 19th at the Starlight Cabaret.
You know, they're already buying tickets.
It's on Ventura Boulevard. It's right by Sushi Row in Studio City. I'll see you there. Only 100 tickets, going fast. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. There's already a link.
We're not saying anything to the media. He says this is above our pay grade. The FBI and the state, the governor and the FBI, that's what they told me. The governor and the FBI said they want this done by Monday.
So I saw this on Twitter. The guy, they say, paved over the, you know, where Charlie Kirk got executed. He wasn't shot by Tyler Robinson. And if you think that I've got a vaccine, I'd like to sell you. What's that?
Plastic fragments were embedded in there. They had to make sure nobody saw them.
Yes. So they immediately I told 2 days later they paved over it, right? So here's a guy who spent 4 years in a foxhole in Denali. We thought it'd be funny if we replaced everyone in his apartment complex with Viet Cong. Now let's watch the fun as he goes to pay his rent. This guy, now again, can't vouch for the veracity of this, but it makes sense because we already covered this before where the construction crew, they got to completely plaster over the crime scene where Charlie Kirk was assassinated. The text messages got out that they wanted a construction crew that could keep their mouth shut. We already covered that before. Well, watch this. This guy says he was one of the guys who paved over it, right? Watch this.
Why do you think they excavated so much dirt? You think that they were trying to make sure they got any bullet fragments or anything that was in there?
I wasn't looking at it with that lens, dude.
Really?
I wasn't.
It didn't even cross your mind?
It didn't cross my mind. Here's the thing. You were seeing stuff on social media. Everybody's saying stuff on social media. And quite frankly, I got so disheartened with social media because they just spin everything. And they talk shit and fear mongering and hate sells. And I didn't want to see it. I knew there was videos out there right when I pulled into town when it happened. I Googled it and I saw the video from afar, right? Of Charlie getting shot. And I thought, man, I don't want to see that shit. This guy got shot. You see it and you know he's probably dead or dying, right? I don't want to see something. Especially with man, father, and husband.
Yeah, I don't think he got shot. I don't think that's what happened. But anyway, here we go.
So I hadn't been on social media. I had stayed away from it. My wife had been on it.
Okay.
And she was back. Oh, she was just, all that ugliness was just.
Into
so when I
it.
got the call, I thought, I better fucking believe it. I'm going to go help.
I'm going to go help.
I'm going to go help these guys. He's asking for help. They want to do it right. He framed it in the sense that, hey, we want this to be done right. So that's why I showed up. So, I mean, to do pavers correctly, you over excavate. You get rid of the top. So
you do?
You do, 100%. You want to get a good base. And these guys had kind of, there was two guys in charge and a ragtag crew. One of the guys was in charge of a state-owned facility in American Fork, and the other guy was a maintenance groundskeeper on a facility in Provo. And these are the two guys that I'm corresponding with. The first guy, the second guy that I hadn't talked to on the phone basically said, hey, look, we're not talking to anybody. We're not saying anything to the media. He says this is above our pay grade. The FBI and the state, the governor and the FBI, that's what they told me. The governor and the FBI said they want this done by Monday. And we need to get it done. We're not asking.
What the
What? They need to pave over the crime scene, a crime scene. So what they're doing on purpose is they're contaminating a crime scene. That should have had yellow tape around it until Tyler Robbins's defense attorneys got to go examine it and send professionals to examine it. That's what you do with a crime scene, especially the biggest political assassination in the last 60 years. That's what you do. They did the exact opposite. Hey, don't ask any questions. This is above our pay grade. The governor and the FBI want this done in 2 days. What? And so if you listen, if I cannot believe there are right-wing or I don't know what you call them, MAGA influencers. The current MAGA, which is just occults and sycophants to Trump, all the real MAGA left. But the current one's still on board with Donald Trump. When they tell you that she's a grieving widow and how dare you, all your conspiracy theory. Those people are being paid to tell you that, and there's no doubt in my mind that's happening.
I've never heard of anything like this. Somebody rushing to do whatever. What nonsense. Return to normalcy. You got to change everything. Someone got murdered at your campus. What do you mean normalcy? What are they talking about?
They're talking about a cover-up of a political assassination. That's what that is. Why would you need to rush to pave over it? Why? It was just grass. Because
there was blood on the grass. Okay.
No, because they what? Blood on the grass. You hose it down. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense at all.
It's because they didn't want the evidence that there was a one of those Israeli pagers that killed him. That's what they wanted to cover up the evidence of. And what was all that plastic stuff in the car, in the SUV? Guess what they did with the SUV that they drove him to the hospital in? They immediately steam cleaned it and sold it. They sold it.
Oh, that's normal.
That's
just
all normal
stuff you do after a high-profile murder. After he was shot with a gun that couldn't possibly have fired.
Let me ask Grok what they did with the. And why do you think they jammed him into an SUV instead of an ambulance? Why do you think they didn't let the medics get in the car with him? Because they were there, and they lied and said they weren't. Who lied and said they weren't? Well, I know Brian Harpel said that he couldn't get the medics because the medics were all cowering in fear, but then we see the video, and the medics are trying to get into the car, and they said no. We saw that video. I saw it. You saw it, right, Kurt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw him get shot, and I didn't want to see it. I had to see it. We all were required to see all the things. Why?
Boy, Brian Harpo's one of the biggest used car salesmen I've ever seen. He's such a horrible liar.
Really bad at it. Extremely bad at it.
I can't make my guys break the law. That's why there's rules. I can't make my guys break. I spent thousands of dollars on drones last year.
Them old Duke boys, got away again.
I think that's the classic hallmark of someone lying, is that you give way more information. I spent thousands of dollars on drones last year. Why do you have to tell me that? No one's asking you how much money you spent on drones last year.
Maybe just use those drones you spent all the money on next time. Oh, that's right, there were drones there. Were you just making it up?
Yeah, there were drones.
Maybe ask for a key to the roof so you can make sure he's safe, since you're a $1 million security company.
Yeah, you're a $1 million security guy. Maybe you would be on the roof. Maybe you'd have someone watching the roof at least. Because people in the crowd saw that guy. Let me ask. What happened to the SUV that was used to drive Charlie Kirk to the hospital after his assassination? I'm asking Grok. The SUV was a private security vehicle belonging to Charlie Kirk's team. Wow. And it was used to rush him to Timpanogos Regional Hospital, the hospital farther away.
Did they get rid of their clothing too?
Yes, according to Frank Turek, they all got rid of their clothes. Isn't that interesting?
Why?
Because there might be evidence that it was one of those Israel pagers that killed him.
No, I mean,
That-
what was their reason? They said. I know why. But
They
why
said
would
because they had blood on them and they had to change their clothes. That's what they said. Yeah, I don't think so. A security team and others, including mentor Frank Turek, quickly carried Kirk's body to the SUV after he was shot, and they didn't let the guys. We saw the medics there. The video's obvious. They performed.
in Israel. I could run for prime minister. So maybe after I do this, I'll go to Israel, run for prime minister. I had a poll this morning. I'm 99%. So that's good. But
wow.
Like he's not. So that the true mark of a psychopath is they have no shame.
Right.
And so he doesn't realize that you have 99%. So why don't you go to it? Well, here's what Utah Barzan said. I fully support him taking that fuxing role. First, he must be charged for treason against Americans, and then he can definitely become the prime minister of a genocidal, demonic, home bomber, land stealer, child killer, Epstein producer, happiness killer, civilization destroyer, pedophilia, OnlyFans-centric, Baal and Moloch worshipping, effing terrorist state.
Yeah.
I fully support that. Why don't you go now, Trump? I mean, this is...
I'm right now at 99% in Israel. I could run for prime minister. So maybe after I do this, I'll go to Israel, run for prime minister. I had a poll this morning. I'm 99%. So that's good. But
wow.
But
You're not the president of that country, though.
He doesn't know that's a bad thing.
Israel really wanted that ballroom for the White House, I guess.
As long as he keeps fighting Israel's wars for them, he can stay in office. Remember what happened to Charlie Kirk when he soured on Israel and became anti-Iran war. Now, Turning Point USA is well-funded, pro-Israel group without a purpose or a real leader. Kevin Castley says, Trump has a higher approval in Israel because he works for Israel.
Yeah, it would be 99% here if he had done what he did for Israel, where the country should be president.
That's exactly right.
We stand for you.
Head out to the storage site.
Wild to see any Americans still supporting this guy unless they're dual Israeli citizens at this point.
Or AKA traitors.
What has he done for America besides protected Epstein's pedos and launched wars for Israel? What has he done? Some people would say he closed the border. Okay. I'll give you that. And it turns out you don't need a wall to do it. It's like flipping a switch.
Yeah, I don't give it to him because why didn't they close it the whole time unless they were doing a little back and forth Punch and Judy act, and they could have done it at any time.
So
remember all the consternation about the wall?
So he could
have Bannon raise money for a wall?
He could have done it in his first term.
Any of them could have. They're all liars and scum. This is a fake country. Israel's your leader.
So this was MAGA in 2016. This is MAGA in 2026.
Nice.
Noise.
Sidney Sweeney was MAGA in 2016. I think that's a little early, but I understand.
I'm just you get the point.
Wow, back to the trans thing, huh? We're always going. Yo, Trump sucked this girl's dick. Larry Loomer. Clinton's dick and Larry Loomer's dick. That's what I think, in my opinion.
And if you want to hear my jokes about this, my one and only performance in my
However, when I got up there in that position, I could not believe what
was that position with your ass in the air, or were you on both knees?
It was face down, ass up.
Was it face down, ass up? Because I think that was the position you're referring to, right?
What monkey is?
Dan Bongino, friend of the show, is. I haven't seen a case of classic projection. Unconscious projection that Carl Jung has taught us about. This is it. There's everything that he's about to say, he could be saying into a mirror. Okay? So let's listen to here was him campaigning against Thomas Massey. Listen to this.
It's a difficult conversation for me because I really believed in this guy. I did. I supported him.
And he didn't change one bit, but I did. As soon as I got power. As soon as I got hired at the FBI, I completely flipped on everything. So that's why it's a difficult conversation for Dan Bongino. Because it reveals him to be an empty shell of a person with absolutely no conviction, no character, and no integrity. That's why this is a tough conversation. But now he's going to do the projection.
For a while, even when, him and President Trump butted heads. Been good on some issues. But I'm going to tell you something. I have never been as disappointed in a human being in politics.
He's been good on some issues. What are the issues he hasn't been good on? He doesn't tell you.
Oh, this Epstein law.
Yeah.
As I am in Tom Massey. I largely stayed out of that race and make too many comments on it. Because the people of Kentucky will choose who they want. If they want Tom Massey, I'm not a resident of that district. I live in Florida. You pick who you want. Got his opponent coming on in just a little bit, about an hour. We'll ask some questions about some issues that matter to you, constitutional carry, Iran, NATO. However, when I got up there in that position, I could not believe what...
Was that position with your ass in the air, or were you on both knees?
It was face down, ass up.
Was it face down, ass up? Because I think that was the position you're referring to, right?
What a punk he is. What a punk.
He's so easy to make fun of.
That's why he blocked me.
He blocked me.
Too.
He blocked me, but he still tweets about me, which we're going to talk about that in a second.
I could not believe what a fraud this guy was.
He's talking to a mirror.
I mean, like an epic level fraud. Whatever you think of this guy, I'm telling you, I have no dog in the fight. I supported him. He is
the dog in the fight is that you're a cuck to Israel, and everybody knows that.
He said that before he got in. What are you passionate about? Defending Israel. So there's your dog, and that's why you want to hide the Epstein thing.
That's right.
Absolute fraud. Fraud. He decided to do some money bomb thing and just completely BSing people about my record there. Just lying to your face.
You mean that you covered up the pedos that you said you were going to go in and expose? That you told people don't let up on this Epstein thing? You mean like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheikh, Donkey Kong, Shabbos Goy. Oh wait, I said that. Sorry.
I tried multiple times to get this guy to come over to give him a briefing on a case he kept bloviating about on Twitter, causing a serious problem, by the way. And I thought he believed in due process. He's supposedly a libertarian, wants to try a case on X. And he didn't do it. I was there from March until January of this year. You know how many times he came over to visit and ask about these cases despite multiple offers, cases he kept bloviating about, what we could have actually told him? 0. And there's nothing he's going to tell you. All of his BS responses, his fake community notes, it's all a distraction from the fact that he doesn't want to admit that he was offered a detailed briefing within certain parameters on these matters he's bloviating about on X in order to attack President Trump and others and due process. Could have cleared it up for him right away.
Meaning we were going to let him know that we have to do the bidding of Israel and keep these files secret. But he wouldn't come over and listen to me tell him that. Okay.
And he just didn't want to do it because he preferred to be stupid. Nothing will change that. He'll try to distract you with his razzle-dazzle.
Nothing is going to change the fact that you are a cuck to Israel, face down, ass up, 100% gaping hole, and that you lied to everybody. You lied to everybody about Epstein committing suicide. You lied to everybody. You lied to everybody that there's nothing in the files, which is, I guess, why Trump won't release them, because there's nothing in them. Tell me how that makes sense. The only way that makes sense is that you're a liar.
His bot army, like we haven't been through this before.
You know who has the bot army? It's the lone congressman from Kentucky, not the state of Israel, AIPAC, the Adelsons,
IDF.
And the IDF.
The hostages.
I think you're the first time we've entered into a primary and supported a candidate and had other people come in with the bots and the bullshit. What do you think? We're like newbies at this? I promise I'll far outlast you. I promise.
Well, I don't know what you mean by outlast, because you already quit. You already tucked your tail like a bitch.
Do I have to make a sock puppet so I can bully him online again? Do I have to? He's making me. He's making me. This is your fault, Dave.
I have 3 sock puppets already in the chamber. I haven't used them a lot lately, but I'm willing.
I'm gonna make my own little IDF online Twitter so I can send him my fun AI movies I make.
I've heard it all before. The guy is a fraud. Anyone telling you otherwise, including him, is lying. He did not want to know. He preferred to be dumb, so he could plead ignorance on X and attack President Trump.
So I retweeted that. So by the way, this is Dan Bongino. You have no idea the nothing I am going to unleash. That's Dan Bongino. He's a nothing.
Does BB fuck his face? Because his head looks pregnant.
His head does look pregnant. So I retweeted this stupid diatribe he just did, and I said, the guy who screamed for years about the Epstein files and promised to expose the Epstein class instead covered up the files and protected the pedos when in power. He is now calling the guy who got the law passed to release those files a fraud. Bongino is a cuck to Israel. And for that, he blocked me.
Oh.
He didn't engage me in an actual argument. He just blocked me.
Well, why did he block me?
And that's fine. I block people all the time. I block trolls and I block people. I block people who bad faith argue.
But you don't talk about them after you block them, do you?
What I don't talk about, I certainly don't tweet about them from behind a block, which is the lowest thing you can do.
The grim job.
We call that a grim job because that's what Ryan Grim did to me during Force the Vote.
Right. It's punk ass, that's for sure.
And so then here's his tweet, including me, that he made from behind a block.
Oh no.
Now remember, this is how he reacts when he wins. Just keep that in mind. He won. Talk about a sore winner. Turns out that Jimmy.
Nice, a first name.
Huh? So Bill Maher calls me some guy. He at least uses my name. Jimmy Igor, or do you say Igor? Ryan, Jimmy, Dave, Igor, Ryan, and an assortment of Jew-hating life losers, disgruntled libs, sexual deviants, leg humpers, drunks, and failed comedians. Wow, that is quite a litany.
What about failed FBI second-in-commands?
How about, yeah. Really aren't a great coalition for winning a conservative primary election. IRL. Shocker. I don't know what IRL means.
In real life.
Oh, in real life.
Yeah, in real life, you got to cover up Epstein.
In real life, you got to cover up Epstein. We didn't ask for this ideological war. They did. Quite the opposite.
You asked for compliance, is what you asked for, you big-headed bitch.
And we finished it. Matter of fact, we didn't even invite them to this party. No, what you did was you invited $32 million in Zionist genociding pedo money. That's what you did to convince the smooth-brained, over-55 geriatric crowd who watches Fox News to vote against Thomas Massie, a guy they unanimously voted for just 2 years ago. They invited themselves, and then they shit the punch bowl, and now they're playing dumb as to why we threw their asses out. When you say we, you mean who's we? Me, you, and Miriam Adelson, and the billionaire pedos? That's who's the we is. Because you know how many donations that your candidate got from inside Kentucky? 70. That's how many donations he got from inside Kentucky. So when you say we, you don't mean the people of Kentucky.
Wait, what does he mean we threw them out? You still have a very successful show, and Dave's still working as I mean, what is he talking about? I didn't run for shit. I just talked bad about Dan. He's a scumbag.
Okay, here we go. Take your 1940s era agitprop BS and shove it up your A. Or go back where you came from with your river to the sea terrorist friends. Those radical libs will welcome you back with open arms. Agitprop is their thing. It's their only thing. Oh, also, and standing against the genocide and slaughtering children. There's that.
What is his thing besides agitprop? He didn't get anything done.
He did nothing.
You got a podcast again? You got kicked out, dum-dum.
You have no idea the nothing I'm going to unleash. You unleash nothing.
You're the host of a much less successful podcast.
Thanks. Have a great rest of your day, and a big thanks to the real conservatives who saw through the BS.
Okay, put 2 forks on a table and headbutt them, Dan.
He doesn't have a dog in this fight. Just a little side note, don't suggest illegal dog fighting on any level when you're trying to take the moral high ground, okay?
Man, you are the dog in this fight, you Shabbos goy scumbag.
By the way, the word is not Jew.
Yeah, it's Zionist.
Take the Zionist dick out of your mouth while dictating. The word is you. The word is you.
We stand for you.
The civilized world, Dan, hates you. And all the Zionist toadies who hide behind an ancient religion like their mama's house dress when criticized.
Right. I shouldn't even say this. Scumbag.
So I retweeted it because I took a screenshot. I had to take a screenshot because he got me blocked. So that's the ultimate cuck move, is to, and pimp move, it's a grim job, is when you block someone and then tweet about them because you're a coward. Cuck to Israel money, Dan Bongino, blocked me because we all know he's a giant pussy. His candidate won, and he's pissed. Whose leg did he hump to get thrown out of the FBI? That's the bitterest victory lap I've ever seen. If this is when Dan is happy, I'd hate to see it when he's unhappy. They've done everything they can to Massey short of killing him. Such big men you are. To go get $32 million in billionaire money made off of gambling and genocide.
You know why he's so bitter? It's the same reason Ted Cruz said, I wish Massey hadn't said that. Because they know that everybody hates Israel extra now. They know that.
And then that's the thing, Dan. The silver lining is this is unbelievably backfired.
I think the agitprop works just fine. I think we should continue it.
Jake Shields says, you are literally fighting to protect pedos.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Well said, Jake Shields. Russell Dobular, he came in, he said, I'm getting very strong beta cuck who found out his boss was the pedo he was looking for and then covered it up vibes. Anyone else feeling that? Yes. Yes. So this is the Dan Bongino crash out after he wins.
Yeah.
What a demented guy that is. Anything you'd like to say, Kurt, before we move on?
I think he was scum from the start. He just does what he's told to do, like most of these
He
phonies.
does exactly what he's told to do. He does exactly. He's a good boy. Dan Bongino's a good boy.
If you wear a T-shirt with the Constitution on it on your phony-ass podcast, I mean, that's a signal right there. It's literally a quote about that, wrapping yourself up in the flag and all that. That's what he is, that kind of scumbag phone.
If you like, I have jokes about Dan Bongino, and you can come see me in my one and only in my lifetime performance in Atlanta. I'm never going back to Atlanta. This is it. I'll be there this Saturday. The one and only time I'm ever coming to Atlanta.
It's historic.
This is historic. So I'll see you this Saturday, May 23rd in Atlanta. And then I'll see you the next day in Raleigh. Raleigh's almost sold out. Then we'll be in Spokane, Tacoma, Levittown, Rosemont, and Chicago. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Hey, come see me on tour in Atlanta, Raleigh, Spokane, Tacoma, Levittown, New York, Rosemont, Illinois, and Chicago, Illinois. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
Your over-emotional takes and your humiliating crash outs have been embarrassing for you, and all of us have been doing this, me, for nearly 2 decades.
Well, what's actually embarrassing is that this result of this election reveals that the people who are left in MAGA are literally in a cult. That daddy tells them what to do, and then they do it. And it also was $32 million that came from Israel. Benny Johnson, I've been a guest on his show. He's a very affable fellow. But he's wrong about this, 1,000%. But I don't think he's actually being wrong. I think he is, well, it's not for me to say what's in his head. I'll say this. I'm surprised he doesn't know better than what he's about to say. So he said the lesson of tonight, meaning Thomas Massey losing to a billionaire-funded Zionist campaign, running against the guy with zero personality, zero charisma, and running against everything that Donald Trump campaigned on.
Right.
So, and by the way, remember Thomas Massey, he won like unanimously. I don't think he even had a vote go against him the last time he ran for Congress.
That's right.
And then so him saying the lesson of tonight is politics is a war zone. Pick your team, fight like hell, betray your team, get left to die. Let's listen.
I know the loudest and most insufferable political commentary accounts are all new on this platform and are probably on life support right now, given the Thomas Massey blowout defeat that just happened. But let me explain this to you.
I don't know who he's talking about. At first I thought he was talking about me, but I'm not new. I've been around since 2009.
Calmly and slowly. It was always going to happen. You weren't living in reality because you haven't been doing this long enough. You don't understand the laws of gravity around here. And so your over-emotional takes and your humiliating crash outs have been embarrassing for you and all of us who've been doing this, me, for nearly 2 decades.
Well, what's actually embarrassing is that this result of this election reveals that the people who are left in MAGA are literally in a cult. That daddy tells them what to do and then they do it. And it also was $32 million that came from Israel. So it wasn't about he didn't betray his team. Donald Trump betrayed MAGA and everything he ran on. So he's got it flipped. And I think he knows he has it flipped, but doesn't matter. He's wrong. The embarrassing thing is that you are all in a cult now. 100% in a cult. Thomas Massey, who won like unanimously the last time he ran, now loses to a guy because there was $32 billion in Zionist Israeli money, and daddy, Donald Trump, told you to vote against him. That was it. And the people who really voted against him were the 55 and older crowd, the geriatrics who watch Fox News, and they absorbed that $32 million of propaganda. So this idea that if you betray your team, you're going to lose. First of all, he didn't betray the team. The team betrayed him. He stayed principled. He wanted to expose pedophiles. And the people in Kentucky, as Keaton said, they used to say, we don't like pedophiles around here, except when we do.
Well, if it's for Israel.
If it's for Israel, then we do.
Well, that is a chosen people. They can choose to do how they wish.
So the embarrassing thing is that the guy you're supporting, Donald Trump, is still harboring the Epstein files. He's still covering up for the billionaire pedo class. Right. And you don't have a problem with that. So that would be that's what should be embarrassing. Now he's saying that the reason why he lost was because there was $32 billion put against him. I mean, $1 million. Now, he didn't lose on ideas. He lost because of propaganda and misframing and lies. That's why he lost.
He's right about it being a war zone.
And what this shows you is that the people who voted for him are the softest brained, smooth brained, easily manipulated, susceptible to propaganda people in the world. That's what this tells you, because Thomas Massey hasn't changed one iota since the last time he won there, and he won unanimously. And here we are, and the people who changed is Donald Trump and the Republican establishment behind Donald Trump. So that's what, to me, that's what would be embarrassing. And to pretend that this was like some fair and square election and that Republicans were always going to turn on Thomas Massey without $32 million in evil genocide pedo money is just dishonest.
Right, he's dishonest.
So let's play a little bit more.
Understood what was about to happen to Thomas Massey, because ultimately politics is a war zone. Politics is not about your niche boutique issues on things. It's about a team sport. In war, you pick a side and you fight with that side. If you don't fight with that side, if you fight against your side, you'll get left in the dirt, in the mud. That's what happens in war. You'll be put in the trench.
His side betrayed the movement. He didn't betray the movement. His side betrayed the movement. That's what should be embarrassing, and it should have you pissed off instead of somehow weirdly gloating that democracy is susceptible to $32 million in evil genocide pedo money to convince geriatric smooth brains who watch Fox News to vote against their own interests. That's what this is. What the people in Kentucky did, the people who vote 55 and over, because let's remember, Thomas Massie won everybody 55 and under. So what this proves is that people are easily manipulated to vote against their own interests. That's what this really proves. That's the embarrassing thing here, that that we're not an example to the rest of the world of how democracy works. We're an example of how capital supersedes democracy in the United States. That's what this is. How money, billionaires, the WEF billionaire pedo genocide class supersedes democracy. That's what this actually shows the rest of the world, which we should be embarrassed about that. I'm embarrassed about it. It should be embarrassing that that's our system. That capital is above government. Donald Trump has a boss. Ed Gallen has a boss. All the people in they all have bosses, and it isn't the people who voted for them. And so what this really reveals is that the people in Kentucky can easily be manipulated to vote against their own interests, vote against the thing they all unanimously voted for just a couple years ago. Because Thomas Massie didn't change one bit. And here, I want to show you this. So this guy says Massie would have lost even if Adelson, Singer, and other big donors didn't spend a dime. So they just did that for kicks? You think they just did that? So they decided to spend $32 million for kicks. He lost because he betrayed Trump. So what that shows you, no, Trump betrayed him and the movement. So what this shows you is that people like Joseph Respecter, Black Market BBQ, is in a cult. And they're unwittingly revealing that. He doesn't even realize what he's saying is, we're in a cult, we have no principles, and we vote because daddy told us to. That's what he's saying.
The cult's called Rabbinical Judaism because that's IDF shit. He's a check mark. Nobody's online saying this with a check mark unless they're a paid shill.
So what I told him was Trump betrayed his voters, every single thing he campaigned on, numbnuts. You're not supposed to be loyal to a politician. The politicians are supposed to be loyal to you. They're supposed to stand with you.
We stand for you.
That's what's supposed to happen. Being loyal to a politician means you're in a cult, and Benny knows that.
He's lying on purpose.
When the politician betrays you, you're supposed to pressure them and make them pay, or else you're a chump, or worse, a weak-minded, controlled cult member. That's what you are. Because here's Thomas Massie telling you how he actually votes. You ready?
Will you change your party affiliation to Democrat?
No, I thought you did. I vote with Republicans 91% of the time. And the 9% I don't, they're taken up for pedophiles, starting another war, bankrupting our country.
He votes with Republicans 91% of the time, and the other 9% is when they're voting for another illegal war, stupid war, or they're voting to protect pedos, or they're voting to bankrupt the country and keep exploding the deficit. Remember, Donald Trump was supposed to come in and cut the deficit? That's what Doge was all about. And then he exploded the deficit. So Thomas Massie is consistent and the same. And the people who voted for this 2 years ago voted the exact opposite this time because they're smooth-brained cult members. And I thoroughly enjoyed my time on Benny's show. Benny, I thoroughly enjoyed his company. He's a fun guy to hang around with. And I think he knows better. But it doesn't matter if he knows better or not. My point is he's wrong.
I think that's foul.
Do you think they just spent $32 million for kicks? Okay, we got to go to our guests. We got a guest coming up. Would you want to say something, Kurt?
He's a piece of shit. I don't like him for that. Fuck Benny. No, listen. Here's why it does matter.
Make it personal.
The closet thing. Here's why it does matter. Because these people are pushing trad conservative values. So they don't believe in anything. They believe in get with the winner, with the winning team. That's all they believe in. And they push that shit to the imbeciles in Kentucky, the Christian Zionists, it has to be. Because that's the only place you get that mind control of a Christian to do that. They believe these people believe in something. He blathers about family values. They're all liars who support pedophiles, every last one of them. So no, he's evil. Is he fun? Fuck him.
Okay.
I said it. You don't have to endorse it, but I said it, Benny, you fucking bitch.
Hey, come see me on tour in Atlanta, Raleigh, Spokane, Tacoma, Levittown, New York, Rosemont, Illinois, and Chicago, Illinois. Go to Jimmy Dore.